Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, president, and founder of GSD, Get You Done Venture Studios, premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion. Also, Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company that I co-founded with Dr. David Jang. We believe at GST that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. Today, I have an incredible guest. Kaius Meskanen is the CEO of Choicely. He's a good friend. He's going to talk about Choicely's journey and his own personal journey. So with that, I'd like to bring Kaius on board. Hi, Kaius. How are you today?
Hello, Gary. Nice to be on your show. And thanks for the warm introduction.
You know, you've had a fascinating journey from the Finnish Special Forces to see, I don't know why I said Swedish.
Well,
I don't know.
My mother is Finnish-Swedish, close enough.
Special Forces to the CEO of Choicely. How did these experiences, what you learned, how did they really impact the way you lead Choicely?
I think the Finnish Special Forces, it goes even way back. So I always did a lot of sports, and getting through that selection process was a really big deal for me. At that time, I was 18, and I would say that it's like a part of what you are. So I basically went through 2 days of tests, and then the time in the force. I think it kind of grows your endurance, and I think as you guys know in States, with all the respects on sports people, it kind of grows your endurance and your mentality of competing with others and being building yourself and building things that are really competitive.
Now, are you still in the Swedish Special Forces? Gotcha. Are you still in the Finnish Special Forces?
Well, I'm in the reserve. Today's politics are pretty wild. Finland has a long border with Russia. It means all the men have to go to army, and then you can apply to special places.
All the men in Finland have to go to the army?
Yeah.
It's required?
It's required. We have a small population, 5.5 million. So you have roughly 30,000 men going to the army every year to the training, and then they're trained, and then they go to reserve. And it's just, it's a little bit, like a dark subject, but it's like existentialistic need that you just have a force, like a deterrence, so that you can defend your country, and then it's less likely that you get invaded.
Wow, interesting. And how long do you have to stay in, Kaius? Is it for the life? Is it like once you're in the Special Forces in Finland, do you go for life, or how long is it?
It's for life. I mean, during a peacetime, it's pretty calm. You just go sometimes to train, but then if there ever was like a real situation, then basically you're called into action.
And how do you get promoted? Do you get in? Do you come in as like a enlisted person, or do you come in as an officer, or how does it work?
Yeah, over time you get some promotions, and of course, in a wartime, then it's based on merits. And well, it's based on merits anyway, but then it's different and faster.
Do you like it?
I like it. I think it's part of me. I mean, you educate yourself to a lot of things, and I don't know, war skills is one area, but I think it's more about the kind of sports side and your kind of survival skills, and then also just the endurance that you kind of keep. It's really important to keep your mentality and your physical body in a good shape. It helps when you have like friends who are, sometimes compete with them a little bit. Then
well, I mean, if you're in, so I know one thing when I work with Israelis, and I'm sure it's the same in Finland, but the every way that they run their companies is similar to a military style because you're so used to being in the military, right, and taking orders and all that, that they run their businesses like that. They're very pronounced the roles and responsibilities. Is it like that in Finland too?
Not. I think in a good way, I would say they are Israelis are a little bit hardcore. With all respect to them, I think it's a little bit like that. But I think being in the military, everything is very structured, and I think it fits with the mentality of being an entrepreneur and running a business and
Mm-hmm.
kind of expecting just basic things and regular things and repetitive things. The important things in work life.
That's interesting. So, how in the world did you travel to 77 countries?
Yeah, that's a
Well,
good
I
question.
mean, did you just get up and say, "Oh, I just want to travel today"? So let me go down through. And what's the most exotic country you've traveled to?
Well, exotic one, I think maybe Angola in West Africa. Pretty wild place. I had a before Choice. I was running an architecture company, and I was running that business 2 years in Angola, and yeah, that's different,
Yeah, way different.
way different.
Yeah. What's the most? So, if what was unusual compared to Finland? What was unusual there in Angola? And
I remember a New Year's Eve party with some interesting friends who lived there, my close friends. I remember like a lot of people on a beach, nice music, basic, nice party. But you had like dancing monkeys and
dancing monkeys.
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's, were they drinking too? Was it, or were they somebody's pets, or what was the deal?
I, there's some. I think they were either pets of the organizer or some friend of the organizer. One of them was smoking, which was weird.
Well,
Cigarettes.
that sounds like a bad movie, like a Star Wars thing or something. That's oh my gosh. Interesting. So, you've mastered 9 languages. How does can you share the inspiration behind Choicely? How did you come up and what made you decide to do Choicely?
Sure. So, like before Choicely, when I was running an architecture company, like very long story short, is that it's like if you run a company in architecture, everything is based on projects. There is a piece of land and rules, and you design something, and you get like a building permit and so on. But for quite some time, when the world was moving forward, I felt that I actually want to build something that's repetitive, more like a platform, a product you can sell tens of thousands of times. And then I started thinking of different opportunities and options. And like fast forward, I at some point I ended up with some great founders who built Choicely with me, our CTO Tommy, and eventually Heikki, who invested first and became our executive chairman, and then a great team around them. We eventually ended up we figured it makes sense that when mobile apps and the meaning of mobile apps kept growing, that at some point, just like websites, when you have WordPress and Wix and Squarespace, who are basically like one easy places where anyone can build websites, we figured at some point it's going to happen for mobile apps. And now Choicely, and of course, the competition is building different solutions for that.
No, it's important. I mean, no code, low code. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when we first got together and you came through GSD. It's incredible where you are today. So, when you go down through and you look at the no code platform, what do you believe? Why do you believe it's critical for the market today in the future app development? And what happens if companies don't move in a no code, low code direction? What do you think is going to happen to them?
Nothing good. I think I think the importance is growing, and especially now, like the last 1.5 years when, of course, you, especially you, but I think everyone is noticing the rise of importance of AI, because it's a faster and better way to build things or do a lot of things. I think with this rapidly changing landscape, I wouldn't now like build a long plan to build a basic mobile app. I would actually just get it done in like days or weeks, and then focus the resources and time to special services and features and capabilities that are unique to your company, and not go back and kind of take a look at building websites or apps or anything from scratch. I think speed has become not like necessity. Now it's like speed is so vital that if you're not, and it's speed and resources. Like if you have a team of 5 or 10 or 100, it's the same. Like, where do you put your resources?
Well, I mean, the thing is, speed's important. Having intelligence and hyper intelligent systems important. And then the other thing is costs, right? Because you can lower the costs and you can be a lot more competitive. You can have I talked about superpowers, right? You have superpowers that other people don't have, and that's one of the things with Choicely. It's incredible, right? All the way. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Helsinki or you're in Boston, Massachusetts. Having that is going to be important. Have the best in the world that goes the fastest at the right kind of price, and more importantly, gets the job done. So, what makes Choicely stand out? There are a lot of other no code, low code platforms out there today. What makes you stand out compared to them?
Yeah, I think the largest differentiator with Choicely to other, let's say, mobile app builders, where you can build some kind of iOS and Android apps, is the product, the quality of the end product. That's where we can really differentiate. So when I look at the competition, I can go to their tools and websites. I can look at their use cases and customer stories, so I can actually see the end products. Anyone can go and look around, and they will notice the same, that the end products that we are able to deliver are of the highest quality. And then that's just what you can see, but then other metrics of the end product, like the stability, crash-free rates, different the editability, a lot of capabilities in the background. So in those metrics, we do stand out a lot.
So you've got some major brands. What is ITV, Eurovision, Miss Universe, International Judo? How in the world did you get the International Judo Federation, by the way? Oh. Did you I mean, I can understand Miss Universe, ITV Studios, but would it wake up one day and somebody said, oh, here's a group in Japan that wants to join? How did you do that, by the way?
Well, actually, that specific contact and conversation started through like a reference. So someone we worked with actually suggested that their president would have like a call with us, and that's how it started. And companies like Eurovision, Grammy Awards, and that kind of companies, it's well, I think we all know, like, getting the first contact and real opportunity to present your product is essential. But yeah, we've had really interesting ways of finding people.
And so you've got this business. Must be a lot of fun too. You get to go to the Miss Universe pageant. You get to go to the Grammys. Did you meet any interesting people there, Kaius? Any celebrities?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, in Grammys, let's say a little bit from afar, but quite impressive people there, like top 20 or top 30 music artists from the US. You probably all know all the names. It's very nice to see them.
Talk to them. They say, "Oh, I remember this song." Do you get a chance to go up and talk to them, or are they potential customers for you?
Not this time. So the last Grammys was in February, but let's see in the next one. In the Eurovision competition, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of artists, and it's like very it's fun for the very least, and it's always great to network.
Can you give an example of a particularly successful client app and how Choicely contributed to its success? How did you help? Just pick one. You didn't even have to mention the name, but which one did you help and how did it help them?
Yeah, I can pick one. I'll talk about Miss Universe. So when I met them first, it was quite a fast encounter. I basically introduced myself. I had a tablet. I presented them our product, and they basically responded. It was IMG back then, the owners. They responded, well, that actually looks way better than our shit. That was the immediate response.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. That meant that. Were they from the US or where are they from?
Yeah, from New York.
Well, there you go. Well, I can understand New Yorkers saying something.
But then fast forwarding, so after we launched the product, after we got some results, some measurable results, so they actually told us that you guys are the first who are actually didn't crash. They have pretty heavy traffics, millions of users. And then they also did highlight that we're the first one who actually are making money for them. So there's always a cost and there is hopefully a revenue in any application. So they told us we're definitely standing out as the first platform that doesn't crash and makes them money.
Well, you can't beat that.
Yeah. And they were referring to a number of Teslas back then.
So the gamification is key to your platform. How does this talk a little bit about that and what kind of strategies do you use to boost engagement through those kind of strategies?
Can you repeat the question?
Gamification. You're doing gamification, right? And so let's talk a little bit about those strategies and how does it really boost the user? So how do you, like the Miss Universe pageant? What kind of gamification are you doing? How do you boost it? How does it work, basically?
Okay, so it's multi-layered. So of course, apps should have kind of the content piece. So you have the content in different forms, and then you have like a push notification loop, so people know when they can consume new content. But then we have like a set of activation tools or fan engagement tools, and those come in different forms. We have tools for voting and rating, surveys, polls, reaction buttons, scoreboards, and then you can basically make the content so much more interactive so that people can basically in different ways express their opinions, and then they can, it's like new content and experience when you can see how other people have reacted. So that's then
And how
you
do you gamify it though, Kaius? Like, how do you compete with somebody on it, or how do you have fun with it? Is there gamification inside of that, or like if you vote for so many contestants, you get this prize, you get a trophy, the Miss Universe trophy yourself, or how does that work?
people are actually more concentrated in let's say they buy a chunk of votes for someone, they actually even take screenshots and share that directly to
Really?
social media. Yeah, and then they're getting shared by other people and they kind of get like a social reward very quickly. And there are a lot of mechanisms, and then our platform is fully open. You can integrate anything from the outside, so it doesn't really have limits. And now with AI, there is so much new stuff you can do.
What trends are you seeing in the user engagement in specifically around the Instagram generation, and how Choicely, how do you adapt to these kind of trends?
I would say that with Instagram and TikTok and the likes of them, people are now expecting very, very high quality UI and very fast loading content, and so that they can really browse quickly things and they can react to things and all that. So I think like now it's almost like a base level, and that's another story. It's hard to like custom code from nothing the same user experience as, let's say, Instagram. So once you have that, and then you have interactive tools that are not common in social media platforms, then you have an edge. People can interact in different ways compared to what they're used to in their usual platforms where they are.
As a CEO, how do you manage and motivate the team to innovate continuously, right? With all the challenges we talked about with AI, you can't be asleep at the switch. You got to keep moving forward. So, how do you do that? How do you motivate them to continuously innovate? And how do you maintain high customer satisfaction?
Yeah, well, the customer satisfaction, we have a team who works with the customers, and we train them regularly, and we help them when it's needed. Most of our customers are very self-sufficient because the tool is very easy, so they can make changes for themselves. And usually, in most apps, the content and most of the things are automated, so they can focus their time on more productive things and something fancy and new and time related. And I think now the motivating part, I think we have a very solid team. Everyone kind of believes in the future of Choicely, and they can really see the responses and different kinds of references from our clients, and they're very proud.
No, that's fantastic. And how do you balance your approach to innovation? How do you really balance that with delivering reliable, satisfied customers and high quality products? So, how do you balance innovation with delivering reliable products? Because if you innovate, sometimes you're so far on the edge, it may or may not work. Well, how do you balance that out?
Yeah, it's a constant topic because you can it's also like when you build something new, then how long do you test it? How many rounds? How many hours or days? It's always a balance. So we have a very capable tech team, and most of the time everything kind of works very fluently from the day one. But then if there is anything, let's say we have automated reporting on any kind of, let's say if there is a crash or if there is some kind of problem, so we're getting automated reporting and we're able to react very quickly. And we have the advantage that if we find something that needs improvement, we can make the improvement in iOS and Android code and spread it to all of the apps at once. It brings a lot of efficiency rather than having like a team focusing in one app. Then we can focus on a whole fleet of apps.
Let's talk about it. There was something about Leo blocks, in which you're using AI for advanced learning outcomes. How does that? Tell us a little bit about that project and how did you get engaged with that? And can you share a little bit more about the platform and why education is really critical for the future?
Yeah, for sure. I ended up in the project because my mother, Tuuli, she's one of the leading accelerated learning specialists in Finland. Many people know there's like a high standard of education in Finland, a lot of innovation happening, a lot of high standards. And then in the culture, there is just a lot of respect for schools and teachers. So people believe in them, and they get the respect of their peers and the general public. So I found out that my mother has come across some really interesting innovation that can be digitalized. So it's a very long story, more than 10 years, but there's a really capable team working on the product, and it's something that's partly already live, and what's happening in the next coming years is going to be amazing.
No, it's amazing. That's great. And, you're right. AI and the future of education to be able to help us. I know one of the things that, it's astounding for myself, and I've written several articles about it, is I've been using the AI to teach me. And so I actually, a lot of times in your life, you used to ask questions and never have the answers. You'd always think about it, like how many planets are in the Milky Way galaxy? How many Earth-like planets, how many galaxies in the universe, all kinds of things. But you would never have an answer. Now, whenever I have those questions, I get down through on my mobile and I start asking the questions and I find the answers. And what happens, it helps you learn faster. It's quite interesting how it happens. We talk about superpowers, and the kind of powers that Choicely has given businesses are superpowers because it's given them a competitive edge that other people don't have. And if we don't embrace these kind of tools as businesses, nothing good is going to happen because you got to keep costs down and you got to be way more innovative all the time. So it's critically important. And as we go down this journey, we're in the beginning of the journey in AI. I've been in it 29 years. So it was Expert Systems when I first got started. I started in 2016, one of the first generative AI companies, Findo, pre-transformer models. Look what's happened since then. Look at where we are today. I mean, we've known each other for, it seems like forever, actually, Kaius.
Yeah, it does.
Honestly, really forever. And I appreciate it. I remember when we first got started on this journey together through GSD. And here we are today. I mean, it's incredible where you are. So what's been your most significant learning experience as an entrepreneur and leader? What, if you could say one thing, what did you learn that's really helped you lead better?
It's a good question. I believe in it. It's maybe because of me. I'm very like an energetic person. I think in my case, it's been sharing my experiences and kind of making sure that everybody's sort of in the same boat, that everyone feels the same, and everyone is excited about Choicely. So that it's not like me alone in a different room, but people are excited as a team. It means a lot of things, but I think that's the most important for me.
We talk about getting a Ferrari out of the garage. One of the things that happens a lot of times, I see it so last week I was at a family office event in San Francisco, top tier family, legacy family office event. And they asked me to talk about AI. And I do it regularly at those events. And I see the difference in how people are looking at it. And now, sometimes we forget that 99% of the wealth is 1% of the population. They own the companies, literally. And so they're so interested in things like longevity, things like AI, things like quantum computing, because they understand that's a future. And you've done an incredible job with Choicely. But what's next for Choicely? Are there exciting new features or partnerships coming soon? What's the future look like?
It looks very bright. So there's a whole bunch of new exciting like tier one partnerships coming. And then the most exciting parts are mostly how we can best use AI in our platform. We already launched our first version, like first AI tool that will convert a website into a mobile application in about 2 minutes. And then you can go to a drag
That's
and drop.
incredible. So website into a mobile app in 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You just give it like your website and it will convert it.
That's amazing.
And then you can, because it's AI, it's elaborate, but it's a best guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you can finalize your app in one day. Like you move things around, you make sure you have all the imported elements, and then you can launch it. And the next step is that, of course, we're making that tool better, but the next step is that in different phases, we're going to enable the AI to do everything that's possible in our Choicely Studio, so the tool where you make apps. So you can basically just talk with the AI and it will do all the tools. Then you will even need so much less of a laptop and you can better use a phone because there are a lot of tools, so it's easier with laptop. But this way, when you're really not touching the tools, you don't really need even a laptop. There is one third thing in our positioning. So new tools like Google's Firebase Studio,
Mm-hmm.
they and others, they have launched new tools where AI can build you actually new code, so a new feature or capability or like a mini app web-based or so. Now we can already use those tools right now and then integrate that new feature in a real app, and everything can happen in like 1 hour or so.
Wow, that's incredible. So
We-
the
just to say, we don't believe we could, like, we don't actually want to compete in that with like Google. We would rather use what they already did and integrate in ours.
That's fantastic. You know, the one thing we talk about Silicon Valley is being a port to the rest of the world. How important do you see it for Choicely? How important is Silicon Valley? And where are you going to go in the next 5 years? Are you gonna stay in Finland? Are you going to move? Are you going to open up offices around the world? How do you see it? Are you going to? What's the structure going to look like?
We will definitely. So we already have one part-time person now in the US. We will definitely have an office there, like a company structure. We now have the main office in Helsinki, Finland, and the side office, like our second office, is in Zurich area in Switzerland, and the third one will be in the US. And I think the statistics speak for themselves. You can just watch. You can write in Google search like where do tech investments come from, and you will very quickly find out that it's pretty US heavy. And when you look at US, it's like very much Bay Area heavy when talking about high innovation investments.
Yeah, I mean it's Sand Hill Road, and when I'm out there, I'm there every day. So I,
Yeah, you know the neighborhood.
I see it, and here's another thing: some things times we forget about it. So when I go to Starbucks, I've gone to Starbucks in the morning, and I see Tim Cook in there, and say hi to Tim Cook. When I go to the one Chinese restaurant, I see Mark Zuckerberg. The people are there, and it's a different kind of environment. Uh, and sometimes we forget. In fact, when I started Findo, I was walking down the street and I saw David Yang, and I had met him with Guy Kawasaki actually, and and I said hello to him, and he said, "I'm looking for a co-founder and CEO of a company I want to start," and that's how we got started, just by walking down the street. So having those people right there, being able to go to those events, being able to go that one conference, that one difference helps. We forget. I've been doing this in Silicon Valley over 30 years, and I've seen a lot of it. The connections are important, and being in front of those folks, and also understanding where the innovation is going to go. Because one thing about it is they talk about innovation all the time, right? What's going to happen 6 months, a year from now? How do we, no, I remember when we got started. How many years ago was it, Kaius? 2, 3, 3 years ago, maybe now.
I think 3, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like forever, but when we're talking about those things, I remember I started to talk about multi-agent large language models and how those things are going to change, and multimodal. Now everybody's talking about agentic AI. It's incredible. You've done an incredible job with Choicey. So, closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you guys?
To get hold of me, you can definitely contact me on LinkedIn. My name is right there, Kaius Meskanen. And to learn more about Choicely, just go to choicely.com. You'll see everything, and you can already test the AI right now.
And just remember, they're not from Sweden; they're from Finland. Is it your mother or father? Where are they from? Sweden?
My mother is half Swedish, half Finnish, and father is Finnish.
Wow, interesting. And by the way, the Finnish language is one of the most difficult. It's got 16 cases, I believe.
Yeah.
You speak 9 languages fluently. How in the world did you learn 9 languages, guys?
I was always interested to learn. In Finland, it's quite typical that you end up your high school with 4 languages: Finnish, Swedish, English, and then 1 extra language from German, French, or Spanish. But then I just kept going. I started I went to courses for so many years. It's a personal thing, and I learn fast.
And which language do you like the best? Which one do you speak the most besides Finnish?
Of course, English, but let's rule that out. It's too international. I like the sound of French.
That's great. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us one more time, and appreciate all my audience for joining one more time. GSD presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. This is GSD Top Global Startups, and you've just talked to one right now, Choicely and Kaius. So take care of yourself, stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. We'll be back to you again soon with another exciting edition. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.